Welcome to ReCo-My Story Season 2. Today we have a special guest from UAE, Mr. Faisal Khan. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hi, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so
Good
much for
afternoon.
having me.
Oh, welcome. And I'm really grateful that you accepted the invitation on a short notice.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And how are you feeling today?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. I'm quite well,
That's
healthy.
nice.
Yes,
Good to hear that, and hope you remain the same. Our listeners
thank you.
would love to know what was your experience during this COVID, the disease that you had and you went through.
Yeah. Okay. So I would just start by saying, I would wish and pray that everyone, recovers at the soonest. Whoever is, facing this ailment, and I wish a speedy recovery to all those who are suffering at this moment. First of all. Secondly, I would start up my recovery process, by saying that I got this at first. I'll start it from scratch. From the beginning, how I got
Sure.
this COVID-19 basically. So it started up by just a rough cough, which I was having for a day. So this cough was, it wasn't giving me a pain as such, but I thought, I was, I was a bit strong-minded that, I thought that it's much better for me to get it tested, because normally what happens is that people think that it's just a normal cough and it's just, it could be a seasonal one. But since now this pandemic situation, I think it's much better. And I would suggest and recommend to all that if suppose you're having any of the symptoms as such, be it cough or even a mild fever, I would say. So it's much better to consult a doctor as well. It could be by phone, or it could be, you can go to the clinic or hospital and get yourself tested, so that you are 100% sure that you are not even a carrier, to such disease. So I went to a doctor and I got myself tested, and I came back home and I got myself isolated by myself. So it wasn't that, I waited for any report or such, because the report comes within 24 hours. So it could be that, whilst you're waiting for the report, or, whilst waiting for your result, you might be spreading to others. So I sensed that, it could be something bad. So what I did is I isolated myself and I waited for my report. Then a day later, within 24 hours, I got my report, which was positive. So my isolation it continued. So that's how it started, basically. With a single cough, sort of. Yeah, not single means it was a very mild cough. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes people do ignore that thing because we keep on
Yes.
having cough and cold as a normal norm of life,
Yeah.
like now with the seasonal change and all.
True.
It is, as you have correctly suggested, that just to rule out the possibility that this is not COVID and if you're not a carrier, so all those possibilities, yes, one should get tested as soon as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And after that, like, because I was just going to ask, like, did you isolate yourself after having got yourself tested?
yes, I did. So thankfully, because I had heard earlier also, that people, because it was spreading a lot, everywhere across the world. So I thought maybe, well, why give it a chance? And being staying in a joint family, so obviously I've got enough people in my house too. So I wouldn't be in a position that I was at that time, if I wouldn't be isolating myself. So I thought it's much better to isolate and be in a single room and not spread it to others. And so for that reason, I isolated and I gave my office as well a form that I can only come back to work once I'm negative, if at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was the beginning, basically. And then once I got positive, then definitely the isolation continued, and I was like in the room for the next 14 days, I would say. Yeah, 14 days.
Okay.
And that, yeah. So you want me to tell exactly like what has happened? I mean,
Would love to, because everyone is going through different symptoms and the way the body reacts. So the more like the trend that is happening, as you have said, like almost 14 days, that is the timeline that is being observed, that people are taking almost 14 to 15 days to
yes, yes,
actually come out of it.
come out of it.
So
True. I mean,
yeah, so during that time, like how did you go about
yeah.
like
I think
thought
the
process?
Yeah, the regulatories, they mentioned that within 10 days you might be able to come out of quarantine. But at times, what happens, like how you correctly pointed out, that within 14 days, 14, 15 days is a standard norm which has come up, and I think it has come in a survey too that within 14, 15 days only the virus gets gets taken off. So the thing is, for me also, I mean. Whilst I was in the isolation, initially, like how I mentioned, it started with cough, and there was a little of throat pain too. So I felt that. But as and when the number of days increased, like within the third or fourth day, then I started getting fever too, which was on and off basis. So it wasn't like continuously high, but then it used to be high. Then after some time it used to get off. Then again I used to get it. So it was like my body was not giving me enough support. So like as in it was uh, it was hot for some time, then it got cold. So I was getting fever on and off.
Okay. So like the
Yeah.
fluctuating fever did drain you off.
It did, yeah, it did. I mean, my body was also quite weak when I was having fever, so I couldn't get up as much as I could, without the fever. So it was obviously I was on bed for some time. Uh, I used to do my office work too, with laptop on, but it was very difficult and it was heavy on me to continue. I mean, more than half an hour, I would say. My eyes used to, sore sort of. So I used to get off from laptop and it starts. I would say one thing that it's much better even if you're in isolation. You should continue exercising. It could be a very small walk with your hands, and you just spreading across your hands, irrespective of how, even if your body is in pain. But I think the blood circulation should go on, and that would only be possible if you continue your body movement. So any patients or someone, I would suggest, being faced myself, experienced myself, that you should continue exercising as well when you're in isolation.
That's really helpful because with the body ache, that zeal to exercise only just flips, and
Yeah,
there is no energy left. So a very difficult task,
difficult, true.
like
Yeah,
right.
but I would say that it's better to push yourself at that time also. Just a slight push would be required, so that your body, you'll get more strength faster if you continue a little bit of exercise, at least every 4 hours, or every 5 hours. You should get up from the bed, because thing is, if you're continuously on the bed and you lay down, so that would be even more of a situation when your body might take more number of days to recover. Instead, I think it's much better, and I felt it myself too, that if suppose you're exercising, or you're moving out your body, you're taking a walk, a small walk, or you're just exercising your hand out in and out. So that is more helpful. So that helped me a lot, thankfully.
I'm sure by listening to you now that they know that they can just do slight exercise by moving their hands.
Yeah.
And in the quarantine place itself, they can do some body movement to
Yes.
help their blood circulation. That's wonderful
Sure.
because now they may actually think about it also, that exercise doesn't mean that you need to step out, go
No,
out
no,
and
no.
do that rigorous thing.
No, 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 no rigorous. Just a very small steps, which you should take up, and just a small movement of body, basically for the blood circulation and for the fluctuations, basic. So that was thing. Then later on, then I think I faced more thing like no taste as such in the food which I was getting, and no smell as such. So all those symptoms which we used to read, in papers, or in the circulation, and also then which when I got those, so I felt that these are all symptoms of COVID. I mean, which are correctly so.
So,
And
did you have any low moments when you were actually experiencing it also?
yeah, I mean, but thankfully, I was not that severe. Thanks to Almighty, that I was not as severe as I've seen now people getting it. Like maybe because it happens during the course of the age also. The higher the age, I mean, the more aged you are. I've heard that the more critical symptoms you get. But for me, it was not as critical, thankfully. But I managed to do it myself as well. Whenever my body was weakening up, I used to motivate myself, say out my prayers loudly or whatever. The thing is, it's your own self, yeah, what do you say, motivation as well, that you should motivate yourself to get up and get going. Because thing is, you should not uh, lay down completely on bed and just rest for that long, because the body should be, because you have to get back as early as possible. So for that reason, I would say to everyone that if at all, even if you're getting any symptoms as such, even critical symptoms, but just try to push out yourself, and obviously with all prayers and all, and try to get up from the bed, and try to do whatever you can, at least go to washroom, or try to work out something. Just don't lie down for very long, because then your body will definitely uh, create more problems, maybe. I mean, I feel that way. So
So,
I
any
did that.
thoughts that helped you to stay strong?
Thoughts of getting back to normal. So that was
Okay,
the
that
main thought.
wonderful.
Yeah, so I wanted to get back to normal very quickly. And for that, I used to pray a lot, to Almighty also, that he please recover, give me recovery as early as possible. And then my family was very supportive. I stayed my joint family, so they were always outside the door, serving me with food, and with different type of drinks and all, which helped me a lot to recover also.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful. And
yeah.
one thing I would like to know, that when you were recovering, and was it a different experience to go through as to what you had heard before, that people went through this?
Uh, yes, I mean, slightly, because when we hear or when we read that, okay, people are having these issues, and so you always feel that these are very normal ones. Even fever you have every, every alternate month and all, a normal fever or cough or this and that. But once you're facing it, right? So that cough which you get through COVID, or maybe a fever, so that is more intense, I would say, compared to a normal cough or a normal fever. So it becomes more difficult to your body to gauge that. But having said that, I think the only thing which keeps you going is yourself, motivation only. You have to continue that. If you become helpless, then it will be very, very difficult for you to gain back the strength which you should have been doing, I mean, gaining back earlier. So I think the main thing is your self motivation. You should continue motivating yourself, that inshallah, I'll recover as early as possible. So you have to get yourself going for a longer period. So that, I mean,
So,
that is one.
did you connect with other people through phone, because that was the only means to communicate?
Yes, continuously. I mean, I was on phone continuously, and whenever I was speaking to someone, whenever I was, and I would add one thing. It's a very good question which you came up with. In this time when I was a patient, I had seen that even the people who used to chase you very, heavily, like my clients and all, like at times, I used to have deadlines and all. So when I was in this period, whenever I used to tell anyone, that I'm suffering from COVID, thankfully, I think people are very sensitive, and what they did is they allowed me a lot of time. They said, no, no, you take care of yourself. You don't worry. We can push the deadline. We can push this. So I mean, people are very supportive, thankfully, and I think this had helped me more. That I can stay calm and composed, and I knew that my deadlines can wait, and I can do my official work also later on. So that also helped me a lot.
So the relaxation of your deadlines actually added a little less
Yes.
pressure on you, and thereby you were a little more calmer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was more in my comfort zone, that I have no pressure as such, which for getting back my work done ASAP. So
So I
kind
hope you're now out of that comfort zone and not using it.
I don't know. I think that I mean, it's still going on, but no, yeah, obviously I've come back to normal, but that hangover thing is still on.
So,
So now I've got an
okay,
excuse that if suppose anything is not complete, I can always say that I used to have COVID. So my thing is still going on. No, I mean, I'm just kidding.
I understand completely. Okay, so any special message you want to convey to our listeners?
Yeah. A special message as such is that I would uh, ask everyone to keep your precautions on, irrespective of you recovered from COVID or not. Please, mask is very mandatory. It's very it's highly recommended. Please don't take off your masks, and social distancing is very important. What we tend to do is that once we have recovered from COVID, we think that it might not come to us again. Yeah, I hope and I pray it doesn't come back again. But it's not that, it might come to you again if you're a bit irresponsible. So that responsibility still lies on each one of us. That we should take care of ourselves, and we should take care of our community as well. We should not be moving around without masks and without social distancing, because we can, even if our immunity is stronger now, or our antibodies have been developed, but still we can be just a transmitter for maybe elderly people, or I mean, it could go wrong to others. So we don't want to harm the community, or make them face it. So we should all be very responsible still. We should continue the responsibility. And I wish everyone all the best, basically, and I hope it doesn't come to any one of us.
Very true. And it's very thoughtful of you also, the way you have just said that, yes, despite of the fact that we may have recovered from COVID, but we can still be a very susceptible carrier for others and may affect them in some way. So
Yeah.
we should be very conscious about the fact that we take all the necessary precautions for
Yes.
ourselves also, because yes, there are cases wherein a relapse has happened.
Yes.
So the rest part and the all the necessary medications that should be continued.
True. Exactly. Have more of vitamin C, vitamin D medicines, and you continue with that. All these, and continue with a little bit of exercise. I would suggest people forget to do the exercising part. Exercising part is very important. Your diet is very important. That will help you out for long run, inshallah. And it might be that you might be thinking that now I'm out of it. No, no, no. It's not like that. Your body can always take that, because the variant is always on. It's always in the air. So it's much better that we continue our body to be immune, and the immunity should be stronger enough. So I think we all should continue what we are doing, and we'll all be successful, inshallah.
Inshallah. And I hope you've got yourself vaccinated.
I did, yes, thankfully. After 2 months or I got vaccinated, and yeah, now I'm fully vaccinated.
That's good. Because I
Yeah.
would highly recommend everyone to get themselves vaccinated.
Yes.
Reason
Yes. That's
being,
how.
the severity comes down.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, correct. But the purpose of vaccination is there only, that it's not that 100% you will be off it, but definitely the severity, like how you correctly said, severity will come down, and you'll not be as critical as it could be without the vaccination. So it's much better for your own body, and for even for others. So if you're vaccinated, even others are at ease, so that it doesn't get spread to them too. So think about the elderly and the younger ones, and for your own self.
With that thoughtful note, I would like to end the session. And it was really nice to listen from you, the way you had maintained that self motivation throughout the process. And, the thought that you wanted to get back as soon as possible is really motivating.
Yes. And I would like to add that I'm very glad to be, part of this conversation basically. And you're doing a very good job. To be honest, you're taking it up with people, and you're just uh, emphasizing the fact that, social awareness is very important. It is very, very important that people should know what exactly has happened with those, who have suffered. And, so that it doesn't come up to your own self that, you before it comes to you, it's better you take all precautions and you hear out from those who have suffered. So it's a very good topic also which you have come up with. Thank you so very much.
Thanks a lot, because I can add on to that. Add on is the fact that I really want people to know, yes, the stories from those who have gone through their recovery stories is a guideline for those who are affected, that it is okay, you will go through all this, but the bright side is you will come out of it.
Yes.
Like they have, and everyone will. You just need to maintain those discipline things that you need to follow, the
Yes.
medication part, the rest part, all that thing, and to keep yourself self motivated, as you have just rightly said.
Yes. True.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Faisal. It was wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take
Take
care
care.
and be safe.
You too. You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot.